Students, what is up? I'd like to talk a bit more about finding these darn vertex shortcuts, or using shortcuts to find the vertex. So let's find them. So here we go. We got a plan versus a plan. Now, you've seen these flavors of questions multiple times if you've taken the homework quizzes, but I just want to go over these really fast because you can find your vertex very, very quick. So again, let's talk about plan versus plan. Let's say that plan A is just a flat fee of $200. Plan B is a $75 fee plus $5 a week or a month or whatever you want. Okay, it's your per item, your rate. Okay, you could solve this. When are they equal? Well, you physically set them equal to each other, or you can quickly do the difference in the fees divided by the difference in the rates. This will help you get to the answer every single time. So the difference in the fees, well, plan A looks like it's $125 more. Okay. And then the difference of the rates, this one doesn't even have a rate. It's a flat fee. This one has a rate of 5. So then you would divide by 5. Okay. So when you take 125 and divide by 5, you get a number, and that number known as 25. Known as 25. So 25 is the magic number right there, friends, okay? 25 what? So whatever this situation is, 25 weeks will be where they break even, okay? So most of these, almost all of these vertex shortcut situations, plan versus plan, cost versus income, are situations like this. Either you're going to have a flat fee and then you have a smaller fee with a rate that will eventually catch. Okay, so in this situation, that's what we had. We had a flat fee, one-time flat fee. That's why it's a flat line. Doesn't matter how many times or how many weeks go by, it's still going to cost you $200, whatever the situation is. Okay, and then there's a fee that starts lower, the 75, and then the rate of $5 per week eventually catches up. So what you're doing is you're basically taking the head start of $125 and dividing by 5, because every single time a week goes by, you eat $5 more, you catch up by $5 more. So 125 divided by 5, 25 bites, if you will, is how long it's going to take for this to catch up. The other situation is you have a higher fee with a slower rate and then a lower fee with a faster rate. This is a classic tortoise versus hare problem, okay? Something is faster, something is slower, and the slower thing is ahead and the faster thing catches up, okay? Now we all know the story, the hare loses or something, I don't remember, but even if you gave the tortoise a head start, as long as the rabbit didn't take a nap, he would catch up to the slower rate, okay? So it's kind of the same idea. You take the difference in these numbers divided by the difference in these numbers. We'll do one of those in a second. So almost very similar to plan versus plan, we have cost versus income, okay? So usually when you're selling or creating things, there's some type of initial cost, and then there's a cost for your efforts. So initial cost, cost per item, and then you turn around and sell it. Now you want to make sure you sell it for more than it cost you, just for common sense. So you can always set the two problems equal to each other, set your costs equal to your income, see what they break even, or really quick, difference in the fees divided by the difference in the rates. Here we go, typo. Had the S up there. Weird. Okay, so difference in the fees. Well, when you sell something, there's not really a fee, but it does cost you $300. Okay, so you're $300 behind. Every time you sell something, the difference in the rate is how much you get back. So every time you sell something, oh, okay, you get $4 back. Okay, so when is $4 going to eat away at $300? Well, here we go. Ooh, 75 on the dot. Isn't that nice? Okay. So 75 items is when you're going to break even, okay? So here we had a situation where one didn't even have an initial fee. They just started from 0. So that sketch would look kind of like this. One starts at 0. Here's you selling. And then here is your initial cost with a slower rate. So it's very, very similar to this one, okay? But you don't make any money unless you sell. So you start at 0. Okay, so 75 items, boom, is where they break even. And after 75, that's when you start making money, okay? So that's why it's good to know a break-even point. How many of these things do I need to build, or what am I selling here? How many of I'm doing? How long does it take me to build 75 items? Can I get that done in a week, in a month, in a year? Okay, so anyway, Side questions. I don't want to get too deep. Okay. The last one is what happens when you have two fees and two rates. You follow the same rule. Let's say we have a high plan. It's going to cost you $75, but then 5 cents an item. And then a low plan. Starts off low, but as you can see, it's a higher rate. So it'll cost you over time. Right here. This is this dude. Starts off lower, but it's going to cost you more over time. Okay. But the higher fee will cost you less over time. So that's kind of a trick sometimes. Sometimes businesses will say, hey, take the low plan. Look at this money. Look at this right here. But then, oh, it's 25 cents per item. So this is going to be more per item than this dude. So eventually this will overtake. But hey, keep it. But it's called the low plan. It's called the low plan. Yeah, it starts off low, then it catches up. The high plan, ooh, I don't want to do that one. But over time, the high plan actually will save you money over time. Okay. In the long run, the faster item will always catch the slower item. So as always, you can set them equal to each other, or you can take the difference in the fees divided by the difference in the rates. So the high plan is $30 more. Okay. And then the low plan, my L's are being really slow today, is 20 cents more. Okay. So you always want to make sure that one of them has a higher rate and one of them has a higher fee. So higher fee is here and the higher rate is here. So we've talked about those problems where if one of them has a higher fee or a higher starting point and goes faster, they're never really going to catch up. So you always want to make sure there's some type of balance, because then you'd have a situation like this where you have a higher fee and a higher rate, lower fee, lower rate. One of those is going to crisscross. Never. That gap's getting wider and wider all the time. This is just like those gallons of water problems. I think we had one where one tank had like 50 gallons and one had like 20. The 50-gallon tank was filling up faster. The 20-gallon tank was filling up slower. When are they going to have the same amount of water? Never. Until, I guess if they're the same quantity, I guess when they're both full, I guess you could say. But yeah, if you are ahead and you're moving faster, you're never going to get caught by something that's behind and slower. Again, I've talked about if you were to race a faster friend and you gave them a head start, what are you doing? Do you just like to lose on purpose? Good golly. All right, anyway, so this one's ahead in the fees, but this one's ahead in the rate. So take those numbers and then bing, bang, boom, do the math. You can always set it up and do the algebra, but I prefer to be efficient and do shortcuts. So a $30 head start divided by 20 cents, 150. If we're talking about text messages, that would be your magic number. So 150, sounds like a cell phone plan, 150 text messages would be your magic number. So here's how people get you. Ooh, do the low plan. Okay, and then, I text like 4,000 times a month. That's going to get you. If 150 is where they break even and you are a heavy texter, the low plan is a trick and you're going to owe them lots of money. Okay, or you can always just get the unlimited plan and not worry about it. But I'm sure the unlimited plan, here we go. Here's the third plan. Unlimited plan, $100. So now we got all three flavors. We've got rates, we've got fees, we've got flat fees, holy potatoes. But, spend 5 seconds, graph all these, you can figure it out pretty quick. So, anywho, that's all I got. Those are the three flavors of questions. I cannot stress enough, this will save you so much time if you go difference in fees divided by difference in rates. I know this was a long video, but it's worth the time. Okay, see you in class. Goodbye.